Okay, today we're going to look at dividing 2- and 3-digit dividends by 2-digit divisors using the written method, also known as long division or the standard algorithm. Our first example is going to be 256 divided by 47. First thing we want to do is estimate what our potential answer may be. And we start by rounding off our dividend. 47 rounds off to 50. And 250 will round off our dividend to, since it's a multiple of 50, and that equals 5. So we are looking for a quotient around 5. Let's go ahead and set up our equation. 256 divided by 47. We said 5 ones. We're going to go ahead and put that over the ones place. 5 times 7 is 35. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 3, 23. Go ahead and then subtract that. 6 minus 5 is 1. 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. I am left with 21. 21 is less than my divisor of 47, and so it is my remainder. I'm then going to go ahead and check by multiplying. 47 times my quotient of 5. 5 times 7 is 35. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 3 is 23. We then are going to add back our remainder, 6, 5, and 2, giving us a number that matches our original dividend. In our next example, we have 369 divided by 46. Again, step 1, let's go ahead and estimate. We're going to round 46 off to 50, 369 off to 350, leaving us an estimated quotient of 7. And then go ahead and set up our problem. 369 divided by 46. We chose 7 before, so let's start with 7. 7 times 6 is 42. 7 times 4 is 28. 28 plus 4 is 32. When we subtract that, we end up with 747. Now 47 is greater than 46, which means 7 is not an accurate estimate. We're going to go ahead and have to add 1 to that and make it 8. So let's take a look and see what happens when we do 369 divided by 46, and we call it 8. 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times 4 is 32. 32 plus 4 is 36. And sure enough, we are left with a remainder of 1. Check by multiplying will confirm 369. In our last problem, we ended up with a quotient that was too small. Let's look at an example of a quotient being too big. So now we have 94, our estimate being too big. We're going to round that 94 off to 90, and 90 times 8 is really would put us really close to 720. So let's go ahead and give ourselves an estimate of 8, since 720 divided by 90 equals 8. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Set up our equation. Choose 8. 8 times 4, 32. 8 times 9 is 72, plus 3 is 75. And we can see right away that we are attempting to divide more than our dividend. Therefore, this problem is not going to work. So we're now going to have to go back and redo it, but this time lower our dividend by 1, our divisor by our quotient by 1, our estimated quotient, down to 7. 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 9 is 63. 63 plus 2 is 65. We can then divide. 12 minus 8 is 4. And 10 minus 5 is 5. We now have a remainder of 54, which is less than 94. Remainder of 54. And again, we're going to want to do check by multiplying as well on this problem. And finally, let's take a look at a word problem. Assume that Miss Gomez's car travels 31 miles on each gallon of gas. If she travels to visit her niece who lives 133 miles away, how many gallons of gas will Mrs. Gomez need to make the round trip? So first we need to remember that it is a round trip, which means she's going to go one direction, 133 miles, and then to come back home, it's going to be another 133 miles. So we need to consider that the total distance traveled is 133 times 2, giving us a total of 266 miles traveled. Therefore, to figure out the total amount of gallons, we're going to take 266 and divide it by 31. Let's go ahead and round off 31 to 30 because we estimate first. And let's use 240, as it's always better to round down instead of rounding up. Rounding up could quite possibly lead to an overestimate for our quotient, and giving us an estimated quotient of 8. Let's go ahead and set up the problem. 266 divided by 31. We chose 8 as our estimated quotient, so we'll start there. 8 times 1 is 8. And 8 times 3 is 24. Subtract that. 16 minus 8 is 8, and 5 minus 4 is 1, leaving us with 18, which is less than 31, so we have 8 remainder 18. So we know we need 8 gallons of gas, but in this instance, this remainder of 18 represents 18 additional miles beyond the 8 gallons of gas. So we need to consider 8 gallons of gas plus 1 gallon of gas for the last 18 miles, means we're going to need a total of 9 gallons of gas. We always complete our word problems with a sentence. Mrs. Gomez will need 9 gallons of gasoline. And if we did, of course, we'll do check by multiplying, and we'll find out that it equals 266.